Hello, everybody. Welcome aboard. Happy Saturday. It's good to see you all. Hope you're all doing well. Today's brew is the Kickin' Horse Black Coffee. It's too early to drink. I might have a beer by the end of the stream, but it's too early right now. Yeah, so yesterday I stayed up a little too late the last few nights playing some video games, and it kind of caught up to me yesterday. I was just tired. So I decided to take the night off. Figured we'd do something this afternoon today. Or this afternoon too. We're at KGON right now. I'm going to KOXC on this first route if you guys want to come join us. Pretty soupy out though. Yeah, well, so the live weather works, right? So my understanding right now is that live weather is generally somewhat accurate with the clouds. Although Groton right now, according to the METAR, is 10-mile visibility, few clouds 2100, broken 3400. That ain't this. But the winds are apparently quite foobarred in the U.S., like almost like non-existent foobarred. So I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know what the deal there is. They'll fix it eventually, I'm sure. Oh yeah, we get some ambient background noise. Good to see you. Good to see Kevin Lister, Stagnag, KJB. How you doing? London Controller. Happy Saturday. So yeah, it's been the end of the week. I just been playing a lot of Eve. My Eve group made some changes recently, and there's some new stuff for us to do, and we've been doing that. I also picked up X4 yesterday, which I'm hoping to get some time in maybe later this evening. X is one of those game series where it's like I know that I should like it. I really want to get into it. It was really like the controls were really clunky because X3 was like, you know, like a 10-year-old game sort of thing. And I'm gonna give that a shot at some point. So once I get grounded in that thing, and see if it's something I actually enjoy, maybe we'll fire up a stream and do some spaceship stuff. But that's pretty much been the week. I'm gonna go flying next Tuesday, and do some instrument work with Mr. Flash 23. And then actually next week there won't be any streams because I have some other stuff going on. I got some stuff going on Wednesday. I got some stuff going on Thursday, and I'm going up to the next weekend is a 3-day weekend in the United States, so I'm going to get the hell out of the house for a little bit. So yeah, no streams next week, but hey, it's okay. There's plenty of stuff going on. X Beyond the Frontier was my favorite. Yeah, I tried it. What kind of stuff? I just got some stuff going on, man. we got some stuff happening next week. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it sometime down the road. I noticed MSFS performance was better. Now they haven't updated anything, man. If performance is better, it's all placebo. I am testing something today though. I turned off VSync, and I want to see if I remember in the alpha, very early alpha, VSync was a huge cause of like stuttering and just general perception of not running well, and I'm kind of wondering if that might be the case here too. So I got VSync shut off. We're gonna see how it does with my graphics card and my setup and everything like that. I also turned the FPS on the stream down a little bit too. I dropped the stream back to 30 FPS, so we'll see if that makes a difference there too. But yeah, I don't know where we're going yet, Kevin. We're gonna go route by route tonight. First route is Groton to OXC, KGON to KOXC. I'm gonna be flying at the Bonanza here, so. VSync off gives a huge performance boost on my end. Yeah, it's not even just the boosted performance, it's like the perceived smoothness of everything. Because even though it's like 40, 45 frames a second, like this feels a lot smoother than when I had VSync on the other day. Now, like I said, I've got the stream at 30 FPS right now because I'm playing with some stuff. And I may not leave it there. I may turn it back to 60. I want to see if I can improve the quality of what's coming out of the stream here just by dropping the frames, because I don't think that 60 FPS is really that important in a flight sim stream. So yeah, Kyokin, hello from your hotel. Oh, hello from Boston. Jack Zale, good to see you. Where are we taking off from? We're at Groton right now, on the USA East server. So I'm doing some FS economy hops. We'll just kind of jump right into it. It's gonna be mostly instrument flying today, which I know a lot of folks have asked about, and I'm actually quite excited to jump in here and do this. Craig is joining these flights. Damn right you are, Craig. Are you joining us in 2020? Or are you doing? Well, I guess you can't join us next point, can you? Get him. Now I just gotta wait for FS Economy to actually do its thing. Uh-oh. Server unavailable. Oh, no. FS Economy is it's having all sorts of problems right now. I think a lot of people have been using it. All right, we'll give this like 1 or 2 tries, and then I'm gonna not care about it. There's an FPS fix that cuts the refresh rate on the avionics and glass cockpit actually works. Yeah, I saw a few people post that up. Haven't had a chance to try it yet. Yeah, FSC. I think FSC's been getting hammered by all the people that have been jumping into it. Definitely a lot of folks talking about it. Definitely a lot of folks that are just jumping in maybe for the first time. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe FS economy is not going to work. Whatever. We'll still go do some flying. So in that case, we're definitely going to pick airport by airport today. Yeah, okay. It's not working. All right, so we'll just fly it anyway. So we're going to fly Groton to, what the hell is this airport called? We're going to fly Groton to Waterbury for this first leg here. Oh yeah, I need to turn air server on. Because we're going to do some, I did some actual proper flight planning for this one. We're going to do some honest to God instrument flying today. Because there's been far too little, oh crap. There's been far too little of that happening. And I endeavor to change that. As soon as I can figure out how to use Windows. Okay. So we're taking off out of the Groton Airport today. Groton VOR is right on top of us. We're going to fly direct to the Madison VOR. And then make my way down to the Bridgeport VOR, where we are going to then shoot the ILS 18 approach. The ILS 36 approach into Waterbury. So, actually, this is one of the airports that's been on my list to go to, because there's supposed to be a pretty good restaurant there, but obviously with things the way they are, we're not doing too many restaurants around here. So, yeah, MAD, BDR, and then we're going to shoot an instrument approach and head in there, and off we go. Once we get up in the air and all that, we'll brief said approaches. This is the default Bonanza. We're going to fly it as if it was a slant alpha plane today. Let's move that zoom level out just a touch so I can see the instruments. There we go. Now I got to put people and fuel in here since FS economy is not doing that. We'll just max out the tanks. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Great. All right. Mixtures there. Throttles are good. Prop full. And battery 1, battery 2. And we're going to want beacon and nav. Is there a fuel pump? Yes, there is. The mixture's doing some weird things. Parking brake wasn't set. Is now. TSP's in green, that's good. Got an engine, that's good. Alternator 1, alternator 2, avionics can come online. We'll go with the pitot heat because it is raining out. Taxi lights can come on for now. Everything else can stay off. Why did it didn't... Oh, you stupid game. It didn't remember my zoom level when I hit the reset button, which means I gotta set it. I still find myself fighting with the cameras a lot. There we go. Like every plane I have just a slightly different zoom level that makes it work. There we go, that's good. Okay, for this flight we're gonna go to, let's say we're gonna go to 4,500 feet. I don't know, we'll go to 4,000 feet because we're flying instruments going west. So we'll go to 4,000 feet and set our auto altimeter to, okay, so it says 2954. Actually, that's pretty close. The current altimeter at Groton is 2959. So that's not super far off. All right, I'll give you that. CDI is going to be on VOR 1. First VOR we're going to track is the Madison VOR 110.4. 110.4. That's now set and identified. And after you mad bro, we're going to go to Bridgeport 108.8. 108.8. I'm also going to put Bridgeport down in nav 2 because we're going to probably use it in nav 2 for a little bit. So it's also going to stick it down here, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why once we brief the approach. Set and set. That's good. Transponder. Sure, let's call ourselves. I don't know. 0420. We'll embrace our inner Val dudes. Okay. Great. And that's all done. And then we'll just kind of blast out of here. So, what are the winds reporting? Oh, I still got the iPad up. Whoops. Supposedly, the winds are 210 at Niner, so I'd want to take off probably runway 23. So, runway 23, actually it's the big runway right behind me, so that's fine. So we're going to taxi out, we're going to go to the right from what we're facing right now, and hop on there. So we'll fly out there, we'll fly up to a couple thousand feet, and then we'll go direct to the Bridgeport VOR. Call it a day there. Great. I didn't put any socks on when I took my shower. Whoops. Oh. It's going to be barefoot against bare metal today. And this plane I know is a little bit on the nose down side. Or nose up side, so let's just give it a little bit of nose forward trim there. Bridgeport is the broken glass capital of New England. I don't know what that's referencing, but given that 404 says it, I'm sure it's hilarious. Would you like to do a stream that summarizes your impressions of MSFS at this stage? I don't really have anything to add that hasn't been said by anything else, or anybody else. I'm enjoying it, I'm having a lot of fun. Chubava Mike, how you doing, by the way? I'm having a good time with it, man. Like, there's a lot of naysayers for whatever reason, and some of the naysayingness is justified, and some of it I think is people just being pedantic. So, I'm having fun with it, and that's all I really care about. Hey, you missed that taxi line back there, buddy. I'm gonna pass you anyway. Got some real nice weather. How you doing, Stealth Bob? I was gonna do some FS economy flying. And it didn't work. FS economy be broken right now. All right, so I think it's got the right wind direction. It just doesn't seem to have the actual winds plugged in there, because that windsock is moving. It's just not up. So I guess that's a start. Oh man, like I said, I just got up thirsty. Yeah, right, exactly, Ashley. How you doing, Ashley? Typical weather for New England. It's been pretty, like, dry and clear lately. Like, there are times when this is typical weather for New England, but not so much right now. All right, well, disregard all traffic. We're just gonna fly and pretend like they're not here. All right, we're gonna fly runway heading here, 21 or 23. Whoops, whoa, that went fast. Fly 230. Right there. And we're gonna fly heading 230. It's about 2,000 feet or so. We're gonna turn then right direct to the VOR. Give me wind option 1. And then I want my bearing 1 to be my VOR. I've got to turn my lights on. Oh no. There we go, lights are set. Didn't do any flaps either, that's fine. We don't need flaps. TSP's in the green. Airspeed is alive. That's going to be our rotation speed. Eventually. Come on, Betsy, you can climb. We got gear in. I don't really know what the optimum climb speed for Bonanza is. We're going to call it 100 knots today. It's probably more like 120, but we'll do 100. We ain't going that high. Okay. It's not that this is the wrong weather. Actually, this is pretty close now to what METAR's reporting. Winds seem to be often incorrect or wrong, but the clouds and whatnot actually do look pretty good out here now that I'm looking at it. All right, let's get our autopilot on. So we'll just turn flight director autopilot. I'm going to go to heading mode. And we will do an indicated airspeed climb, flight level change. Let's aim for 100 knots. Heading mode, FLC, 100 knots, autopilot to 4,000 feet. Let's bring that RPM control down just a touch there. 1, we can turn our taxi light off now, but I'm going to leave the landing light on. Now we are in the stink. Where did we depart? We took off out of Groton. Wind's working in EU, but borked elsewhere. That's what I've heard, yeah. G, good to see you. Croak, today, good to see you, man. All right, we're going to go ahead and turn direct now. I know it's not quite 2,000 feet, but it's close enough. So I'm going to turn myself towards the bearing pointer here. Once I do that, then I'm going to push in the course button. Boom. That's going to line the course knob up. And then we're going to change ourselves over to nav mode. Verify VOR, flight change 100 knots up to 4,000 feet. And I've noticed that this sim likes you to start pulling that mixture back pretty quickly. Oh hey, we got airplanes. I wonder if those are people or if those are real world planes. Because I turned real world traffic on too. Mixture's very well, like most of the planes, it kind of behaves a little strange. Only AI shows on map. Gotcha. Dark Angel, good to see you. Swordvan, good to see you. Firebird Who, welcome aboard. Ooh. That's pretty. Okay, so we have 25 miles to the VOR. What I'll probably do is go to Bridgeport sooner than later. So let's put Bridgeport in nav 2. Identified. And I'm going to pull the bearing pointer up for nav 2. We have picked up Bridgeport. I'm going to go ahead and just go direct to Bridgeport now. So, because that gives us a little shortcut here. So we'll push the heading button in, sync the heading bug, click on the heading mode. So heading, flight change 100 knots. Flip our nav 1 over to Bridgeport, like so. BDR is identified. Push the course button in to line that up, and then go back to nav mode. And you're turning the wrong way, airplane. And now we are eventually flying towards the Bridgeport VOR. There you go. There you got it. Very good airplane. I do have my instrument rating IRL, yes. Yeah, I got my instrument rating just over a year ago. About a year and a half at this point, actually. Ooh. That's interesting. I like how you see the little pockets occasionally. I haven't done any like real world weather instrument flying yet, so this is going to be a little bit of a little bit interesting tonight. Get the Pants, thanks for 26 months. Appreciate that. And Flying Dave, thank you for 25 months. Cheers to both of you. Thank you so much. This expensive hobby is all your fault. I know, right? Wait till you start getting into flight controls, Ashley. When you can actually find them. Yeah, I was hoping to do my, well, actually, no. Yeah, actually, yeah, I have to do my BFR. We're gonna see. We'll see what the FAA does for extensions, though. But yeah, I have to schedule a BFR in early January, unless I get my CFI or commercial ticket by then, which probably won't happen. So yeah, no, yeah, you're right. I completely forgot about the BFR. Is coming up though. According to 4Flight, my flight review expires January 31st. So I've got a little under 6 months. All right, let's go one more notch on the mixture, on the RPMs. Back to 2,500 RPMs, keeping that power in full. Keeping mostly, looks like mostly rich will keep us where we want to be. The mixture control doesn't really seem to do much. you pull it out of that initial full rich spot, and it seems to give you a little bit of power, and then after that it's basically nothing. Oh. Oh, okay. Well, some might say that it's raining. We'll just pretend we didn't see any of that. I didn't even pop the next right up to see what it was doing out here. Ah, all the heavy stuff south of us. We definitely got some weather today, though. That's for sure. Holy crap. I feel like maybe the Bonanza's a little on the slow side, though. Because we should be, I think we should be like 10 or 15 knots higher true. Also, I really don't think we're supposed to be 3 degrees nose up. Or, well, I guess that's only like a couple degrees nose up. Never mind. I'm just misreading that. Black VQ, good to see you, man. So they did an extension they did like a 6-month extension through the end of this, through sometime mid this year for BFRs, but I don't know how or if that's going to apply to anything a few months from now, like 6 months from now. So we will wait and see. If I got to go do BFR, I got to do a BFR. Like I'm not going to shy away from that, obviously, but yeah. Yeah, actually, this would be really good for real-world stuff. I'm looking at this saying, because I almost went flying today. I'm kind of looking at this saying, man, I should have gone flying. Because this would have been some pretty good IFR. Like my home field is 3 miles rain, few 700, broken 1400. That's some nice gentleman's IFR right there. And worst case scenario, there's further west I can go and get out of everything, and use that as my get out of jail free until things clear up. But not today. I don't know. I think this might be lore. I don't think these are lore leftovers. Actually, it might be. Now that I think about it, I think this might be Laura leftovers. I don't know. I haven't been following the weather too closely, other than to know that there was a hurricane and it was pretty devastating. This plane is a lot like what I fly in the real world. Adam's Flight Sim, good to see you, man. What do you fly in the real world? Legoski, good to see you. What's the difference between using course and heading mode? Ah, good question. Heading will point the plane at wherever I point it to. So if I go to heading mode right now, and I say, okay, fly heading 282 or 280, the plane's going to turn to 280. When I go into VOR course mode, what I'm saying is I'm tuned into a VOR. So I'm tuned into a ground-based navigation station, BDR. And I'm saying I want to fly towards that VOR at a course of 270. Right, so let's set the course for 270 and then go back to nav mode. So now the plane is going to align itself so that it basically flies due west into that ground-based navigation thing. Boy, it's pretty aggressive about these turns too. So it's going to intercept that VOR at a course of 270. So the heading will be whatever the heading is, because you've got to account for winds, you've got to account for whatever else. But the course is what we're actually concerned about with when we're flying or when we're navigating like that, because we want to make sure we're coming in at a very specific angle. So when I brief this approach here, maybe you'll get a little bit more. Lower leftovers are further south. Well, we're down in like Connecticut right now. Like we're practically in New York at the moment. So yeah, there we go. So now we're flying a course of 270, so we're flying due west into this VOR, but our heading is going to be anywhere between 270 and 275. So because of the way winds work, the heading is the magnetic heading of your plane, saying my plane is flying in this direction, right? But if the wind is pushing you from this direction, your plane's actually not flying due west. Your plane is potentially flying, let's say, you know, southwest, because of the way you're getting pushed around. So that's heading and course. Yeah, ForeFlight would be a better example, Kevin, if I had a moving map. I don't have a moving map in ForeFlight yet. Yeah, you're welcome, Ashiku. All right, we're gonna fly. Gonna fly the ILS from a 3.6. (109.55). Set. Okay, we're going to fly the ILS 36 into the Waterbury Oxford Airport. We've got 5,300 feet of runway to work with, plenty there. 109.55 is tuned up and ready to go. Final approach course 005. We're flying this in from the Bridgeport VOR, so leaving Bridgeport at a 2023 course to 12.6, or 7.3 DME, I should say, to intercept this glide slope and localizer and come in. 2,500 inside Bridgeport, and then 2,500 across the final approach fix down from there. Final approach fix 6.5 DME. Good to know. Missed approach, straight ahead, 005, intercept radial, and then off we go. We're not going to worry about that. Minimums for this approach are 971 feet MSL. 3/4 mile visibility. Weather conditions reported in Waterbury currently are variable 5 knots, 9 miles rain, overcast 7,000. So we should break out 400 feet above minimums, and we will definitely have the runway prior or inside of the whatever. We'll have the runway and we'll be legal. Put it that way. Questions? Comments? Great. I think I'll hop in and start some lessons after breakfast. Space Danny, good to see you, man. What's for breakfast? David Blizzard, good to see you. Young Aviator, welcome aboard. Hope you guys are all doing well. I think the leftovers is over Missouri. Well, that's what it looked like on the map, but again, I have no idea. Pancakes. Oh, man. I had a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich on an Asiago bagel, and it was pretty delicious. There's some nice sharp cheddar cheese. Yeah. Breakfast was good today. I've not had issues with SimLink. Oh, I haven't even thought about using SimLink in the Navigraph stuff for a moving map. I mean, as soon as they do the patch next week, everything will work again. We can grab whatever third-party stuff we have to. We can get our moving map in ForeFlight, and hopefully all the SimConnect stuff will be figured out. Hopefully, cross our fingers. Altimeter 2962. 2962 is set. I noticed that the altitude didn't change. Good to know. What if I press Alt again? No, it doesn't want to capture the new... I changed the altimeter. It doesn't want to descend down to that new 4,000. Vertical speed. Nose down, 100 feet per minute. There it goes. Weird. When you change the altimeter like that, it's supposed to nose itself back down or up and capture whatever the new 4,000 is. Baconator this morning. Oh man, everyday family, good to see you. Baconator's a burger, isn't it? Or is that a breakfast sandwich? Western omelet. I'm not a big Western omelet person. I don't like peppers and onions and all that crap, but I'm sure it was delicious. Hamburgers and garlic noodle. That actually sounds pretty good too, Craig. Not gonna lie. 2 hamburgers for breakfast is intense, man. Holy crap. Alright, what do we do? We got 15 miles to go till we get to the VOR. Let's look out the window for a bit. You gotta be disappointed if it doesn't get the weather right. Elsewin, good to see you, my friend. Happy Saturday. Can't wait to finally get my hands on some A2A products, right? Anybody that does, like, anybody that can come in and improve the avionics would be pretty awesome. Like I've said this a couple times, there's a few changes they could make to the avionics that I think would improve the usability of these airplanes immensely in an instrument scenario. Like the biggest thing is being able to do a proper direct to, because you can't do that right now. You can't pick a line on the flight plan, hit the direct to button, and go direct to that item on the flight plan. So, if they fixed that, then this GPS would rocket this GPS into something I could actually use flying around online. We are not dead, Siffle. How you doing, man? Flash 23 eats way too much. I used to be able to do that. And then there came a point when I kept doing it and got fat. Pray for Siffle. David Zekov, good to see you, man. It's been a while. I do find hand flying to be a little twitchy. If you set the curves, it can help with that. Make it so that it's less sensitive, and then it gets more sensitive as you go. I've kind of gotten used to it, but also I found X-Plane to be fairly twitchy as well, a lot of the time. Yeah, the views just take some getting used to. I mean, I do find myself... What? Excuse me? I do find myself fighting the views quite a bit. We just descended below 4,000, so it didn't... When you change the altimeter, like, we have to do some playing and figure out how to actually make this thing work. I had to rethink the views. I had to basically make it so that I'm treating the views the way that you should treat the views in this sim, as opposed to trying to turn them into what I think they should be with X-Plane. Actually, let's try something here. Let's do proc. Select. Oh, I gotta select an airport though. I'd have to load a flight plan in to be able to then select an airport and load a procedure. So never mind. I was gonna say I could get an overlay of the procedure on here. VS is pretty erratic at times. Yeah, the autopilot could use some tuning. Like, you notice that when I changed the course a little bit, the plane turned in like 30 or 40 degrees to make that intercept. Like, it probably should have only turned 10 or 15 degrees and slowly made the intercept. I would expect behavior like that from an old autopilot that was kind of crappy. Not necessarily from a new modern autopilot like what's in this Baron. And I have a feeling it's going to be VFR when we come into this airport. Which I guess kind of makes sense. Everything around here is reporting scattered 2,000, broken 2,500, which is about what we're seeing down here, so... Oxford is the only one that's... Or Waterbury is the only one that's showing IFR. Pretty intense IFR. Overcast 700. Yeah, it captured it the first time. So it captured it the first time. When it didn't capture it is when I reset my altimeter. I reset my altimeter and it just stayed at that new 4,100. Otherwise, yeah, it captured the altitude as we were coming up initially. Like, it'll do that. No problem. Petition to rename the Waterbury Airport Reginald Waterbury International Airport. How about the Reginald Waterbury Memorial Airport? So in Siffle's honor, because he almost died in the hurricane. X-Plane Geo! How you doing, Lauren? Thanks for 31 months, man. Appreciate that, buddy. Cheers, dude. Happy, is it still Saturday there? I don't know what the time difference is for you guys. But cheers, man. Thank you so much. Kimball Aviator, how you doing, man? Did they fix the live weather? The live weather seems to be doing very well for clouds and visibility, and less well for winds. There's huge update I think is being very generous. There is an update coming next week at some point, and it's they're doing a few bug fixes around problems with the installation. They're doing some bug fixes around. See, it didn't capture again. That's so weird. They're doing some bug fixes around the installation process. They're going to fix the Sim Connect bug that's preventing VATSIM from working, which will be nice. Actually, that'll be real nice. And also what's preventing Pilot Edge from working too. So very, very soon we should get some good action. Okay, I'm gonna go to heading mode now. Heading mode, heading select, good. Headings verified. We're still not in any sort of altitude mode, which whatever. It seems to think this is 4,000 feet. I think it's trying to do it based on GPS altitude. I think it's actually getting altitude select. If I set the altitude down 100 feet. No, it still goes to 4,000. Whatever, doesn't matter. All right, we're going to fly an outbound leg here of 023. Oops, that's the wrong one. Course is here. Zero, 2, 3. Let's start making that turn. Turn into that. So we just flew over the VOR. Would have liked to have led that a little sooner, but whatever happens. I have a sneaking suspicion our field is not going to be IFR right now. Call it a hunch. Because I think that's it right there. I would assume weather's a thing they can fix without a client update, yeah. Because it's just pulling it in from the internet. And we can go down to 2,500 feet now. Take this for 7 miles, so let's go ahead and do vertical speed, nose down, 500 feet per minute. Hold the power back just a touch there. Get all my lights on. I think that's the field, so seems that it's not gotten the fact. It hasn't gotten the hint that it's an IFR, but everything around here is marginal, so I'll give it a little leeway there. Yeah, the winds are always wrong. It seems the winds are very, very wrong. No, don't turn into it. There you go. Uh-oh. Seriously? Did FS Economy crash it? FS Economy did crash. I don't know if it crashed the sim. So yeah, there you go. Some things never change. We're gonna try it again. I'll put myself in the air over Bridgeport because I'm gonna fly the approach. Yeah, the Bonanza. The last time I flew the Bonanza, it didn't crash on me. You were the chosen one, and you still screwed it up. X-Plane 11. Listen, okay. If you want to talk about stability, X-Plane 11 is not the horse you want. Is not the hill you want to die on. There's a reason why I haven't flown X-Plane 11 in like a month and a half. Every time I touch that sim, it crashed on final. It crashed on final. Well, if it crashes again, we're going to go play something else today. I'm going to go fire up X4. We're going to play that. Oh, my God. Why do we do this? How was X-Plane when it came out? Yeah, there's that too. Actually, X-Plane 11. So X-Plane 11 was pretty stable when it came out. And X-Plane 11's stability just went... Like, the quality of that sim just degraded significantly as it aged. Which is the opposite of what's supposed to happen. Rob's good to see you, by the way. How you doing, man? The Xbox logo when the flight sim starts up is the brightest thing on earth, right? Not playing Fall Guys. I don't actually have Fall Guys. Briefly had 400 frames a second. Oh man, it's hammering my GPU on this menu. Trying to learn airlines. Can you get your opinion on the best airliner for X-Plane? Currently using the Zebo mod. Just keep using the Zebo. Of all the airplanes I flew in X-Plane, the Zebo was probably, and this is not how it started, but the Zebo got to the point to where it was the one that crashed the least. If you want to fly an Airbus, get one of the tallest buses. Probably the 319 is a little bit more stable than the 321. The 321's got some more bells and whistles, though. Generally, I would avoid Flight Factor because I just have not had good experiences with them. But yeah, I would just fly the Zebo, man. You don't have to spend money on an airliner in X-Plane, especially if you're just starting out. Okay, Bridgeport. There we go. Let's start at Bridgeport. Let's put myself in the air. Right here. But I can't, so here's, the only downside is I can't set myself any higher. Live. Done. I would love it if I could go higher. But I haven't found a way to do that. What bells and whistles does the 320 have and have the 319 doesn't? It's just, it looks, like the last time I flew them, it looked better, it sounded better. I know that it was running newer versions of all their avionics stuff. Whether that was a good thing or not, I don't know, because the 321 crashed almost every single time I flew it into an airport. It pretty much always crashed at 5,000 or 6,000 feet. I know you can click anywhere and start in the air, that's what we're doing, but you can't actually set your altitude. I'd like to start in the air at 33,000 feet, not at 1,600 feet. New laptop is an HP Omen with 300 hertz refresh and an RTX 2060. I never understood high refresh rate monitors. I have friends who swear by them. I'm sitting here living that 60 hertz life. All right, let's get ourselves in a climb. Oh, I think the autopilot's on. Yeah. Give me 2,500 feet. Heading sync, heading mode. Flight change. Climb. We definitely don't need to be burning those props full speed. And let's go ahead and crank myself back around here. We're going to just do a big left turn. Make our way back to that VOR. So I want to have Bridgeport 1088. Set. And then the ILS is going to be 109.55. Ready to go. Let's put Bridgeport 1088 at the bottom. Nav 2. Also set. And then our PFD, I want to have DME. I want to have my bearing 2 up, my bearing 1. And I want to have winds, option 1. There we go. And give me a CDI on VOR 1. So let's intercept the 023 radial. So I'm going to set course here. 023. And we're just going to keep cranking that plane around. Go for about a 30-degree intercept on that radial. That'll then get us pointed back towards the approach. Did not remember my settings. No, it's got VSync off to frame rate. It's just garbage right now. Hell yeah. All right, pitot heat on. Everything else is looking fine on the buttons and switches. Taxi landing lights on. Panel lights good. Okay, I think we can start flying this again. Weather looks a little poopier now. Okay, we're going to be flying this to 7.3 DME. So I want to make this intercept here, and we're going to fly 7.3 DME, and then we're going to grab the ILS and head down. Yeah, happy to help, man. Definitely stick with the Zeebo. Zeebo's fantastic. Yeah, I didn't avoid... The Flight Factor 320 is just... I don't know. I've never had good luck with it. Looks as bad up here as it does in the south. Yeah. It's pretty wild in New England. I think it actually might have it IFR now. I'm curious as to how the weather updates happen too. Like I don't know that I've seen weather sort of change because like the conditions that we're in are different now than what they were before the sim crashed. So would it have gotten that update? Would it have actually drawn that new weather in? I'm not really sure. Because this is kind of neat right now because we're here on the coast, right? We're over kind of Bridgeport area right here. So this whole coastal area is marginal. But as soon as you start going inland, there's areas like our field that are IFR, areas that are IFR there. Turn off the SIGMETs, turn on the weather radar, and you can see that like we're flying into some rain and into some weather that's kind of scattered up here. If we went down to Long Island, we're getting hammered right now. When we go up to the Boston area, we're gonna get some rain too. So it's kind of interesting how it handles all that. Whoops, and we just flew right through the radial. Okay, let's switch over to the ILS. And 005 is supposed to be the final approach course, not 4, but it's locked in at that. It's fine. I have a localizer, I have a glide slope. Autopilot off my airplane. We're going to hold 2,500 feet to 6.5 DME. Use my heading bug there. Just give me a little target. All right, 2,500 feet, 6.5 DME, so we got 6 miles to fly in here. I do have runway lights way up there. We'll see if we keep them or not. The last time I flew the 320, it actually, no, not the 320. I flew the 757 updated avionics version 2 Pro Ultimate, whatever. Not only did it crash my sim, it actually crashed my entire PC. Like my PC hard froze and reset itself, flying that airplane. That's not something that has happened doing anything else with this machine. I'm on this computer anywhere between 10 and 12 hours a day. I'm oftentimes doing video editing and playing a lot of video games and things like that, and I've never had another game that has blown up my entire computer the way that the Flight Factor 757 did. I think that was the last time I flew a Flight Factor plane too. Like they've done something with that. Those avionics are so poorly optimized, they're so poorly written that it just tanks your performance. I think I saw a post, the TOLUS 319 system should have been updated to 321 standards. Oh, good. So the 319 probably doesn't work for me either. And hey, more power to the people who it is working for, right? If it's working for you, I'm super happy for you. Like, genuinely. I had so much bad luck at the end of X-Plane there. It really, before 2020 came out, it just really, really, really sullied my interest in anything flight sims. It's disappointing to see crashes in this thing, but this thing's also brand new, so I'm gonna give it some leeway. It's doing a lot of things, right? All right, got glide slope indications starting to come in. Let's go full on the props here. 1 mile to the FAF. Bring the power back. First notch flaps, intercepts coming up. Nose up there, just trying to catch that glide slope. I don't know the numbers to fly for this airplane, so I'm kind of guessing a little bit. Angry Pilot, thanks for 40 months, man. Appreciate it, man. Try to get her down to 90 knots here. It's like about 13 inches is what we're looking for. Nose up. So I'm watching the diamond. I'm watching the needle here. I think I want to turn off. Can I turn off synthetic vision? It doesn't appear to be an option to do that. If anybody knows how to turn off synthetic vision, I'm all ears. Best graphics in the world don't take away the pain of crashing a sim on approach. Yeah, that's fair. I've had this sim crash far less on me than the other one did in recent memory, so there's that. All right, minimums are 971 feet. Patrick Swayze. Poker, thanks for the bits, man. Appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, and I have no issue with either sim. Truly, like, we'll be back in X-Plane at some point doing some stuff. There'll be a time when I want to do some proper instrument flying, practice with the G1000 or the 530, the 430. We're going to go back to X-Plane for that. If I want to do some airliner stuff, I'm going to go back to X-Plane for that. So I'm not uninstalling or removing X-Plane, but I'm having a lot of fun not flying it right now. Okay, 300 above. You're down 3 green. Flaps approach. Good. 200 above. Shit. 100 above. Got the field. Last notch flaps. Get ourselves down on approach speed here. I'm going to say 80 knots. I'm going to fly it like an SR-20. 75 feels way too slow. Right. Welcome to Reginald Waterbury Airport. The memorial airport for Sifil, who, well, actually, we won't make any Laura jokes today. That's a very devastating hurricane. But King Gear, how you doing? Rukoa, good. How you doing? Stall is 66. You just bottom of the white arc, man. Bottom of the white arc with the flaps out, but You don't usually fly. You don't usually do an approach at stall speed. This plane is very, very nose heavy too, or tail heavy for some reason. If I can pull. Is there any room for me here? Sure there is. There's always room for the Bonanza. Do I fly SR-20s IRL? Nah. Maybe someday, but no, not right now. My day job, I deal with all sorts of different airplanes and approach profiles and things of that nature. It just so happened I was dealing with an SR-20 yesterday. All right, let's get full tanks in here again. That's all fine. Reset my trim. Let's try +3 on the trim. Actually, no, there's a green section. Oh, that must be takeoff trim right there. Okay, well, let's try that then. Sure. Why does the TBM look so massive? Oh, he's floating. Like, why is he so high above the ground? I don't think the, I don't know if the scenery loaded in properly here. Okay, where are we going next? We are at OXC. Let's go up to Barnes. This is an airport I fly in the real world. I like Barnes. Barnes is awesome. Barnes has an ILS 20 coming in from the north. We can fly that. Fly that from Chester, actually. Where's Chester at? There it is. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go to Chester VOR. Take off out of here, fly to the Chester VOR. We'll shoot the ILS 20 into the Barnes Airport, and then we'll pick the next one from there. So Chester's going to be 111.9er. Punch this into 4-flight. KOXC up to CTR. Should I just put KB? Yep, no, CTR. KBAF. Plates. Barnes. ILS 20. Oh, not high ILS. It's going to be the ILS 20. Beautiful. My flying Joe's Thang down. I have no idea what that means. No idea. Actually, I'm going to go use the little boys' room real quick, so enjoy this lovely view of the outside of the airplane and the whoever happens to be around us, and I'll be right back. Oh, Fanny. I heard he was thinking about bringing it down. All right. Let's go flying. What do you say? Who in chat is flying here? I think a lot of people are. We got at least a few flying along with us. So Poker, thank you again for the 100 bits. Angerpod, thank you for the 40 months. And TechClaw, thank you for 44 months. Loving the new sim and your positive attitude. Don't always, when things don't always work out. Hey, man, gotta do what you gotta do. Cheers, my friend. Thank you for 44 months. Somebody on YouTube the other day wrote me a dissertation talking about how disappointed they were that I wasn't being harsh on the sim. And telling me that the 4 months I spent not flying was better than, or what did they say? Something to the extent of the 4 months that I spent not posting videos on YouTube was awesome, and I should just go back to doing that. I'm like, man, you got some real problems. Wayne, good to see ya. Think something's up with the audio quality output, maybe a Twitch issue. What's wrong with audio? Are you transcoding? You're living rent-free in someone's head. It sounds super choppy. Just try refreshing it then. Try refreshing the stream, see if that helps. Check with the transcoding stuff. It could be that you're having some resource issues too with your computer. All right, let's go approach flaps. Take off here. We're gonna take off runway heading. Let's head up to... Just go to 5,000 feet. Rent-free in someone's head. That's a fantastic one. I'm gonna remember that. Altimeter setting on the departure 2960. Set. All right, let's go flying. Lights are all set. YouTube video audio quality and other audio quality is fine. Gotta be Twitch. Yeah, the Twitch client runs a little heavy. Sucks. All right, let's go runway heading to a couple thousand feet, then we'll go up to the VOR. We'll tune the VOR once we're airborne. All right, let's go flying. That's power. And T's and P's are in the green. Not sure why the RPM gauge is all freaking out. That's fine. Airspeed's alive. That trim setting is very, very wrong. Well, kind of wrong, I guess. It's positive rate. Here. Nose are down, get a little speed here. Clear of obstacles, flaps in. Should have let the flaps out another 100 feet or so, but it's fine. Alright, let's get ourselves established here. We're gonna go heading mode, flight change. Set, autopilot on. Heading, autopilot, flight change 102. Let's actually make that 100. Pull our props back a touch, set our taxi lights off. Just a little bit of mixture back there. Up we go. As soon as I'm airborne in this plane, in particular, I'm all over the place. You just gotta be, I hate to say that like this, but you gotta be really, really, really smooth on the controls in pretty much all these planes. Also, I don't think we've loaded in any ortho right now. I think this is all default textures for some reason. Oh, maybe not, actually. No, never mind. There's a baseball field and stuff down there. Or it just blended it all together really, really well. Anybody flying along? Does yours look like mine? Navigation frequency is 115.1. We're going to Chester. All right, 115.1. Set that. Chester's verified. Let's go ahead and go push the course knob in, go direct to, go to nav mode. Turn towards that. VOR, autopilot, flight change 100 knots, up to 5,000 feet. Yeah, we're going to 115.10, and then we'll brief the approach once we get in there for the ILS. There's probably a VOR approach we could fly too, because there is a VOR on that field. I mean, yeah, I could fly the VOR. I could fly the VOR 20. It's going to have pretty much the same effect, though. Barnes, I think, is starting to clear up. 2 mile visibility, rain, mist, overcast 400. So, yeah, we'll see. Like, the rain's starting to push out of the airfield that we're going to, so I'm curious if it does start to improve as we get up there. Full mixture on climb. In most planes, yes. In Microsoft Flight Simulator, you want to bring that mixture back just a touch once you're airborne. Or else you actually, like, full mixture, notice how the nose comes down, I actually lose power. So if I bring the mixture back just about a half an inch or so, I gain power. And I'm able to get another couple hundred feet per minute out of this thing. Normally, you would be correct. As fun as the Jet Massacre was in the Big Island, it feels good to see some legit flying. I know, man. The plan was ultimately to come do more of this kind of stuff. I was going to wait for Pilot Edge to do more of it, but such is life. I usually adjust the trim until I hear the engine RPM drop and then go until it's back up. Oh, hello. As we're in the climb here, we have a friend. Yeah. How are you? That? Just up an hour? You're gonna take, okay, that's all yours. Yep. How's it going? You only slept for an hour today. We're gonna take note of some things on her face, okay? First of all, she's got a ding up here. We're not sure where that came from. She's got a fat eyebrow because she took a dinger this morning. Hi. I'll do more of that for them. Hey. You want to talk in the microphone? No, don't hit it. No, don't hit it. You can talk into it. No, don't hit. Yeah, you can't reach it now. Hi. Hi. Yeah, you're over there too. You're in a lot of... You want to eat lunch. Up. Okay, well, you can't have that. I'm going to take this back. Yeah. Ah! I gotcha. Oh, I know. I know. It's so rough. Let's get this breakdown live. Uh-huh. All right, kid. Go get lunch. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Thank you. Up means my current situation is not ideal. Please change it. It could mean that I don't want to be held here. It could mean that I do want to be held. It could mean that I'm hungry. It could mean that I'm full. All right, altitude's coming back. Let's go one more notch on the RPMs. Need an up emote. That's actually not a bad idea. Trevor, good to see you. When is she going to start flying? Yeah, soon. Well, McShiggity Pilot sent me a whole pile of microphone windsocks. So eventually, if it wasn't for the fact that she just eat the damn things, I'd let her have one. She could have downstairs. But I know that she would chew the hell out of this thing in no time flat, so. Oh, man. She's too cute. I miss mine two girls. Something fierce right now. Yeah, I know. This cuteness stage I know is not going to last. Oh, yeah. I love these dark and gloomy flights. Just doesn't get any better in my opinion. Like the sunset flights are pretty and all that stuff, but man, there's nothing like coming out here on a crappy day and flying around in the sim. Like a nephew that everything in history was yesterday. If it happened years ago, it was yesterday. Yeah. My niece when she was younger, it was this. She'd point this, and that's all she said for months. And that's kind of like Amalia is using up the same way that my niece used the word this. Live weather is working for clouds and visibility, or at least it seems to be, mostly. Live weather is not currently functioning for winds.
I would like up, with some up. Then I would like to up. Then you can have up.
Up. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it, man. Cheers, buddy. Are we going somewhere? Yeah, we're heading up to Barnes. BAF, Bravo Alpha Foxtrot. We're going to shoot the ILS approach into Barnes. And then we'll go from there. Might go over to Beverly. Shoot the approach into Beverly. Beverly's got a localizer. Yeah, just have a little fun with it. Whatever. Just cruising for now. I was gonna do some FS economy stuff, but it didn't end up not working, so here we are. Thank you again, Joe. Appreciate it, man. Did you get that Fanny moved? I know you were thinking about it. Yeah, FSC's is really slow. Like, they have gotten hammered with new people coming in. I mean, it's awesome. It's like good for them. I wish they had. I don't know if they have a way to monetize or to try to make money other than, like, I don't even know if they solicit for donations. But if there was something I could do, like give them a $5, I would absolutely do that. Because like I love the fact that people are really getting into it again. Let's replace the pull up home with up. Oh, that'd be fantastic. They do have a PayPal link for donations. Okay, I'll have to throw them some cash then. Yeah, it's a neat program what they've built, and the fact that people are really getting back into it and whatnot is just awesome. So, thinking about instrument flying and clouds and kind of all that stuff, like this is really quite representative of what it would look like with a low kind of broken overcast layer, where you have areas where you can kind of see through it and areas where you can't see through it, and you can kind of see that it's a little bit broken, but then there's that big overcast layer up above you. The thing that I don't think that maybe needs some work is like all of these little feeders that you see, where it looks like, you know, these horrifying tornadoes are coming down all over the place. That'd be the one part where I'd say maybe that's not super realistic, but the overall feel of this broken and overcast layer
never gonna give you
pretty
up.
Good.
Never gonna let you up. Never gonna turn around and up you.
Nightbird, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Cheers, dude. So, and that's something that, like, we didn't have that in X-Plane. I think Active Sky had that to an extent, but X-Plane, it was like clouds were kind of solid. Actually, I think SkyMax kind of did it a little bit, did it kind of well too when it actually worked. But that's been the area where I've been perhaps the most impressed with the cloud coverage is how clouds can go from being slightly transparent to opaque, and they have that sort of back and forth. And the way that interacts with cloud shadows and things like that coming down. Like I saw this cumulonimbus cloud, the sun casting through it, and it was just putting this enormous shadow.
Yesterday when suddenly I ran into a cougar, almost made me pee my pants.
Thank you, Joe. I like the fact that it said pee my pants. Thank you again, guys. Appreciate it. Joe Orango, good to see you. XC News, how you doing? Happy Saturday. And Nightbird, happy Saturday, too. Bowman, good to see you. Did I come up with approaches for Tuesday? No, I haven't yet, Craig. I'm going to do that probably tomorrow, figure out what the flight plan is. I'd like to fly all 6 in a hold if we have time, but I only have, we only have about 2.5 hours on the Hobbs before somebody else gets the airplane. So it's probably going to be 2 approaches at Portsmouth, 2 approaches at Lawrence, maybe 2 approaches back in Beverly, and we'll fly the hold on the localizer 1-6. I just got to look and see what I can get away with. Or we might actually, is there an approach that goes into Skyhaven? Oh, there is. Oh, there's an MTB. So there's a VOR approach out of P's. Oh, good. And an RNAV approach. Well, the RNAV approach goes the wrong way, though. Oh, there's an... I'm not going to fly an NDB approach. Hell no. Yeah, I'll come up with something. It's gonna be quick, and it's gonna be fast, and it's gonna be, yeah. Observation time. It would seem that the autopilot determines its altitude to hold not based on what the altimeter is currently showing, but if I were to press B, actually that's not even based on what they think the altimeter is. The altitude hold on the autopilot seems to have some issues. Altimeter setting 2955 for Barnes. And I would expect that it would descend now to sit on that 5,000 feet mark, but it's going to kind of hold this 50-30 probably. Lederhosen Charlie. Hello from Boston. It's good to see you. In Germany.
Mouths are the new boobs. Only okay to expose them in public for the purpose of feeding.
Where did that come from? Thank you for the bits, dude. Cheers. It's probably, what, about 7 or 8 o'clock in Germany? PM? I've been using VS mode to change the flight level. I mean, yeah, we can use flight level change. I'm talking about the old hold, though. Like, we wouldn't use VS mode in this case. Well, normally you wouldn't. One of our airplanes, the autopilot was very... The altitude hold would actually start porpoising, so we just sat there in VS0 mode and just held that to have it hold altitude. But the plane naturally climbed about 20 or 30 feet per minute when it was in VS0, so we'd have to occasionally dial in VS minus 100, descend down just a little bit past our altitude, go back to VS0, so it was constantly just doing this by about 30 or 40 feet. Just so you understand that real airplanes are just as janky as some of the things that we're flying in the sim here. How you doing, Stan? Monitis, good to see you. DC9 Captain, hello again. When you did the glare shield view, was that a zoom or was that there for... okay, so movement keys. Good question. Arrow keys, right arrow, left arrow, go left and right. Up arrow and down arrow go up and down. Right alt button and up arrow goes forward and backwards. So I can go right alt up to go forward. Press down a little bit here. We'll go down. Press left. Come back. Go back up. But the key is right alt up and down for going forward and backwards. That was a fun one that I learned. And then you can get that nice glare shield view right there. And if you wanted to zoom in, you certainly could, or you could zoom back out. But I didn't do any zooming for that particular change. Can I confirm the 320neo TD is broken as hell? I haven't flown it, so I can't. I haven't flown it. I flew the Citation once, but I flew it VFR. I haven't flown either of the airliners, aside from the 787 on Wednesday, where we made the fiery sacrifice to the blood gods in Hawaii. Yeah, we gotta get our GoPro views. Greetings from Logan's Terminal C. Mark, so you made it, man. Have you jumped onto your Cape Air flight yet, or have you not jumped onto your Cape Air flight? Because if you're going to the Cape, things are pretty spicy. Things are pretty spicy southeast of Boston. There's a nice line of storms heading down to Hyannis and whatnot right now. This sim has reinvigorated my love for aviation. It has definitely invigorated my love for simming again. Yeah. My passion for aviation has definitely not waned. But as far as my passion for flight simming goes, I find myself a lot more interested in flying now than I was, several months ago. You missed nothing. Yeah, that's kind of what I gather. Just based on the default avionics in these planes, I just kind of figured that the jets were probably not quite there. They probably needed a little bit more work. Oh, you're going to Augusta? If you're going to Augusta, I think you're okay. Yeah, most of this crap is pushed off. Like Augusta's, what is Augusta? Augusta's reporting 3 miles rain, broken 600. So they should be able to get in there. Yeah, I mean minimums are so minimums for the approach are 200 feet. So yeah, it's within minimums. You should be fine. You might have a couple of bumps and whatnot heading up there, but if you were going out of the Cape, I'd be more concerned. What do I think about the Zebo Type A320 mod? I haven't used or seen it yet. Euphoric. I read about it. I saw that it exists. I'm glad that people are going to try to do that, but I don't know anything about that. Oh, 8.7. Oh no, we got a brief an approach here. Crap. Okay, we're going to fly the ILS 20 into Barnes. 111.9 is tuned up. Final approach course is going to be 204. We're going to fly from the Chester VOR. Chester VOR is going to be 082 for 13.5 miles till we intercept the Leeds intersection. We're then going to fly outbound on the VOR or on the ILS for 1 minute, make our turn back inbound, and go from there. Down to a crossing altitude of 2,200 feet for the final approach fix, and minimums today are going to be 520 MSL, 300 feet AGL, or 250 AGL. Missed approach going to be straight ahead, right turn to the charter VOR. Questions? Comments? Great. Right now we're heading into Bravo Alpha Foxtrot. We're about 60 or so miles west-southwest of Boston. And the next flight I think we're going to fly into, might go up to my home airport at Beverly. Actually, we might go up in the mountains and shoot an approach and then go down to Beverly. This plane's got some speed to it, so. I just do VFR in other jets. Big words since I usually love jets. But you know what? That's the thing, too, is that like this sim has gotten a lot of people interested in VFR and general aviation flying that otherwise would probably not have done that. Like Chewy, of all people. I love Matt, but Matt is like hardcore. I'm going to stare at my autopilot for hours upon hours. And he has been doing a whole lot of VFR flying. And that was maybe a little bit unexpected. Ooh, hey. We're in a little bit of a cell here. All right, let's go heading mode. So sync the heading bug up. Go to heading mode. That's gonna turn into 082. Once we make this turn here. 082. We are 2 miles out currently. I'm gonna go ahead and start the turn in here. We'll just cut the turn halfway. And then plan for the intercept once we see the needle moving. Once we're established in here, we go down to 3,500 feet. Can you do a spin recovery? Yes, but not today. Doo-wop, good to see you. Ailerons, neutral, elevator forward, opposite rudder. Get the recovery. Nose yourself up, power in. Off you go. I guess the elevator forward. Is the elevator forward? No. Your nose is going to be down anyway, so aileron neutral. Opposite rudder's the big one. All right, we're established here. Let's go vertical speed down. 500 feet per minute. Down we go. The spinning in this sim, it seems like they've hard-coded the spin behavior. Because every single plane I've noticed spins exactly the same way. I should try an airliner. I should see if I can get one of the airliners to spin and see if it spins the same way. Is there no de-icing in the X-Cub? Hell no. Most of the most single engine prop planes are not going to have de-icing. The SR if they've modeled it, the DA62 and the SR22 could have it, or could have it if they've. I think actually most of them do have it in the real world. But most single engine props do not have any sort of de-icing or anti-ice, especially a bush plane. Good question, though. Now we're taking this to 13.7 DME. Recover the spin of the Tomcat. Dude, I flat spinned the Tomcat the first time I went up and flew it. I think it's just kind of a rite of passage. I like how I've told it 500 feet per minute and we're only doing 300. There, that's better. Got in trouble yesterday in Nepal after I flew through a cloud. Oh yeah. Yeah, if you fly through a cloud and it's close to freezing out there, like you're gonna ice up just like that. Same thing in the real world too. I will say there were some. I did a couple weeks ago. We were doing some bush stuff up in Idaho, and there were some pretty exaggerated icing effects that were happening basically in clear air with just a little bit of like humidity in the air. So I'm not sure how good the icing system is in this sim, but yeah, you definitely will get some icing if you do the wrong thing. 7.5 DME, looking for 13.7. At probably 12 or so, I'm gonna flip 12-ish. We'll flip over to the ILS and we'll fly that outbound leg. Too soon for flat spinning a Tomcat. That's some player. How you doing, man? Turbine or piston? We're in a piston right now. We're in the Bonanza. We are in the Bonanza, flying to the soup. About to fly the ILS 2-0 into Barnes. Haven't flown in icing before, but it seems to me that ice is a little faster than it should. I mean, icing happens in the real world. Icing can happen like super fast. Like if you're flying through super cold water, and your plane is not equipped for it, like you're gonna pick up ice really quickly. I don't know how over exaggerated it is. I do want to do some testing at some point, but I've also never picked up ice in the real world, so I don't know that I'd feel super confident talking about, this is how it behaves and how it does. All right, we are in heading mode now. I'm gonna flip the switch over here to the localizer, so IBAF. As we intercept here, we're gonna fly outbound for a minute. Get my timer ready to go. We're gonna fly outbound for a minute and then make our turn back in. DK, good to see you. Arif, good to see you. Imagine it's something you try to avoid in real life. Yep. I know people in my flying club who have not avoided it in the real life. I won't name any names or anybody like that, but there have been some questionable icing decisions I've seen made. All right, we got that coming in. Let's go ahead and turn the outbound leg here. Winds are very, very slightly right to the left. And start my timer. And my airplane. I want the flight director off. I don't need that. Looking for 3,500 feet, flying this outbound here. I said 3,500 feet airplane. Bonanza flying in formation with us, apparently. Five seconds. I really wish I could turn the synthetic vision off. That green makes it difficult to read the glide slope and the VOR. There's a minute. Let's make our left turn now. For a standard rate turn, 3,500 feet. In essence, we're taking a left 270-ish. Let's hold that right there. Hold the altitude, hold the bank. A little bit of trim, always more trim. Trim, 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 trim. If you think you've trimmed enough, you haven't. Ooh, I need the barn. Ah, I've got to tune in the Barnes VOR. I need that for DME. Ah. Alright, there's my level off. Let's find 3,500. Oh, man, that was a place where I screwed up. Got that, though. Alright, I got DME down here now. I'm looking to intercept, looking for 12.9 DME to identify leads. $747 Simmer, thanks for 21 months, man. Appreciate it, buddy. There's the turn in. Ourselves nice and established here. Final approach fix is Wessie. 2,200 feet. Okay, we are established. A little bit of trim, more trim, more trim, more trim, more trim. This plane likes to cruise just about 2 to 2.5 degrees nose up, it seems. It's 13.1, we're looking for 12.9. We're just going to hold this altitude until I grab the glide slope. Okay, so we're inside leads now. We're looking for 6.4 next. 6.4 at 2,200 feet. This is going to be our final approach fix. You sound like my barber. Can confirm do not cut hair. Would not want me to cut your hair. I can barely cut my own hair. Okay, there's one dot, 11.4. Looking for 6.4, 2,200 feet. That needle centered up. There's my intercept. Bring the power back, get that nose over. Just go bottom of the green arc here for this initial part of the climb. Or descent, I should say. 3 miles, the final approach fix. Okay. Of course, you can see runway lights. That's my I think that's my biggest gripe, and the X-Plane had this problem too, is that the lights just cut through the fog and everything else. You would not be seeing that light right now. Two miles of final approach fix. 600 feet. Medic Dan, thanks for 10 months, man. Or 27 months, sorry. Thank you very much, sir. I do appreciate that. I'll give you a cheers here when I'm a little less busy. .5. All right, let's bring the power back now. Looking for 13 inches on the manifold. Gear down. Flaps first notch. Plan's going to want a balloon. Keep that nose down. Keep that nose down. There we go. Speed should start coming back now. Gears down. Flaps indicated good. Now that nose is going to come up. There's our final approach fix. Nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up. About 1 to 2 degrees nose up, I think, is what we were at last time. And that was giving us our nice descent in here at 90 knots. 520 minimums. It's one of those laser pointer attacks. Imagine how bright the bulbs are. You'd get a sunburn the second you landed on this runway. Oh look, we have a friend. This is Bonanza 717 Tango Sierra Flight of 2, apparently. But he's a little high on the little above that glide slope there. Thousand above. Somebody else out there. Oh yeah, look. I don't think he's flying the approach. You can see the rain out there off in the distance, though. This airport is really awesome to fly into. There's a little ridge of mountains here. Or, well, mountains. Mountains. Large hills. And on the other side, there's a military base. Okay. 500 above. Good. Is there a fix for live weather? What's wrong with live weather? I imagine they're going to fix live weather at some point, but the clouds and visibility seem to be doing good now. We're just missing winds. So, that's on them. 300 above. $200 above. $100 above. In sight. Not that there was any doubt. One of my favorite airport restaurants is at this field. I hope that they survive COVID, because they had some very tasty burgers and some very, very tasty chicken wings. Very, very tasty. Yeah, you would have seen them in real life. I just don't think you would have seen them that far out. But it's possible. But you'll notice that especially like the runway, the edge marker lights and whatnot, the flashers, they'd cut through everything, man. They just cut through everything. Clouds, fog, rain, whatever. Same thing with player lights as well. Other people's planes. The boy Mike, good to see ya. 07, good to see you as well. Where's Nightbird going? I had an icon flying around me on Thursday. 1 dot above to avoid wake turbulence. You could do that. There's no wake in front of me, though. We good? Piper Hawk, good to see you, man. Happy Saturday. I hope you're doing well. The tower is most certainly not that impressive. The tower is definitely not that big at this airfield. We're gonna park here for a moment. I'm gonna go grab myself a quick snack, and then we'll resume the next flight. That's done a reasonable job here. There would not be a 320neo, I don't think. Not sure if that's a person or looks like it's probably a. I don't think that's a person. Don't think that building is that close. That one looks okay-ish. That's where the airport, that's what the restaurant is. All right, park break. Boom, boom, boom. Master off. Alt 1, Alt 2. Mixture off, mags off, so we're in a good pilot. Bat 1, Bat 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Barnes. I love this airport, man. I love flying in here. It's one of my favorite ones to go to in the real world, mostly because the restaurant's good. Also, there's a fleet of I think F-15s that are based here that do the flyovers for baseball games and whatnot. And if you're, like, a lot of times when you're here, you'll just see them screaming down that main runway, just hauling ass getting out of here. And then they'll go and they'll do their flyovers and they'll come back. So it's a really neat airport for doing some plane spotting. The tower is not that big though. All right, folks, I'm gonna step away for a couple minutes here and go make myself a little plate of stuff for a snack here. If you're taking off, thanks for stopping by. If you're sticking around, we'll go. We're probably gonna go to my home airport next, and we'll just keep cruising around here doing some instrument stuff and playing around. So we'll be right back. I know the tower is nuts. Clap? Who clapped? Oh crap! I'm sorry. Clap! Who got it? I didn't even see it. I'm sorry. I need to figure out how to do a notification for that. Are you able to join friends from the friends list? Yeah, you can join. I think you can join friends from the friends list. You can at least see where they're at. Sorry, I missed the clap. Who got the clap? Who got the clap? Channel points reward queue. There we go. Vatsim Flyer got the clap. Sorry about that, man. There you go. Alright, everybody can join. That's why I got multiplayer enabled. We're at BAF right now. We're gonna go to BVY next. So I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. And we'll be right back. Hey. I'm gonna turn my webcam off and my microphone while I eat here. This music kind of sucks, doesn't it? Any better? No, I'm not feeling this. All right. So may have my snack here. We'll be good. Would you believe it if I told you the sim just crashed? Jeez. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if some of the instability has to do with the multiplayer and like the live traffic stuff that more people are definitely running now. Still an early product. I mean, it's obviously it could have used another month or two in the kitty, but eventually you got to release the thing. Like eventually the game's got to get out there. So. This is what we would call a long tail product. Still feels like an alpha? Oh, no. As somebody who flew in the alpha, this does not feel like an alpha. Maybe a late beta at best, but certainly not an alpha. Believe me, the early alpha of this was rough. Yeah, I'm still super excited about the direction. Like, it's a good start. It's something to build off of, something to make better. These first few patches will be pretty telling. See how they handle the patching process. See what they can get fixed. I mean, I look at it the same way that I look at any MMO, any like MMORPG that I've done at launch. Like the first month to a month and a half is going to be a dumpster fire and a train wreck, if not more. So if you're not willing to put that kind of time in or deal with that kind of stuff, then like you just then just wait. Like, you know, you've waited this long. Sim's not going anywhere. Below minimum is exactly right, Mem. To all the people who are like, I should be helping test this thing. I was like, well, this is better than what you would have been testing. And this is why they have embargoes. This is why they have limited alphas. Because hey, things are gonna be better and things are gonna be worse. Let's jump in another plane. Let's jump in the since we're not doing Epis economy. Let's go in the diamond. I haven't really spent any time in this one, so I'm kind of curious. Software testing is hard. And not glamorous. As somebody who does software testing quite a bit for my day job, yes. I was in the alpha testing, and I can't say much more than the release is good, yeah. Even the improvements from where the sim was at in early July, because they announced the release date. I remember a collective eye roll from all the people that I knew that were in the alpha, like, oh man, this is not going to be good, because the sim was in rough shape. And the last couple pushes we had from the alpha, the first couple of beta versions we had, things improved significantly. Like, I cannot stress that enough, how much better this sim got in like 3 weeks. But it's pretty typical for video games. Like every video game release you read about or hear about, it's always on the verge of it being a dumpster fire and just a catastrophic wasteland of a product until about a month before it's actually going to be out. We're on the USA East. Long to you, good to see you. JFK Rampart, how you doing, man, by the way? Good to see you. Almost done. Of course, the screen's gone black. Oh! Are you kidding me? Goddamn sim crashed again. Well, maybe we're done flying today. What am I eating? I had some string cheese, I had some Pringles, and now I have a pickle. FS Economy's not running, man. I turned it off after the first crash. I'll turn the AI traffic off because I haven't had that on before. The Feast of Kings. I went so long in my life not ever having pickles in the house, and then my wife several months ago started buying pickles. And now I have 1 or 2 pickle spears a day because they're 0 calories and they're absolutely delicious. And I hope that everybody loves pickles. She's actually making some homemade pickles too right now. I think they're going to be done tomorrow, or maybe Monday. Long flights with FS Economy equals .net crash. Well, so Bob, I think that's what happened to me going into the first airport. Yeah, everyday lunch for me. I eat big dinners, but I try to eat consistent and sort of smaller lunches. It's always a sandwich done in the George Foreman grill, some chips, and a pickle, and some cottage cheese. That's my lunch basically every day during the week. Today's lunch was what I just had. There we go. Everything pickled in general is amazing. Kimchi. I should try some kimchi sometime. Science Sweeney, how you doing, by the way? Haven't seen you for a while either. Oh, thanks. Time to switch to the superior sim X-plane. Yeah, so I can then crash at 5,000 feet on final. My girlfriend hates pickles. It almost became a make or break. Whew, man. At least you found a way to work through it, JFK. My field just went VFR. It's actually clearing up out there now, or kinda trying to. What's the altimeter in Barnes? According to the internet, the altimeter is 29 or 5.2. Okay. Diamond. Flight conditions. Let's turn let's turn live traffic off. I'll leave all players on. Live is good. KBAF. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Set as departure. Live. Eric, thank you for the sub, man. Welcome to the Beer of the Month Club. Cheers to you, my friend. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. this crashes again, we're just going to do something else. As much as I'd love to sit here and fly all afternoon. If it ain't working, it ain't working. I am not streaming Eve. Not a chance am I going to stream Eve. Sim says 2950. Yeah, it's been within a couple hundreds of a point. And remember, like the altimeter. I don't have the new golf game yet. All right, hang on. I have no idea what's going on. It's the airport or the weather or something multiplayer-wise that somebody has loaded in. Let me try it one more time without multiplayer. I'm gonna try it one more time without multiplayer completely. Otherwise, I'm gonna say it's something's buggered up with the airport. Or maybe the diamond, actually. The diamond, I tried to load into the diamond. That was the new thing. Well, the thing is, we flew into this airport. Although Crashfly was here, so there's that. It was live weather crashing you. Don't say that. I want to have live weather, though. It's the whole reason we come out here and fly under instruments. Yeah, I don't think it's the airplane. Maybe it is the weather. That's why we can't have nice things, I know. Too many people playing. If their weather stuff doesn't have the resiliency to handle too many people playing or not being able to get a data feed down, like that's a problem too. Welcome to Crash Simulator 2020, the finest in flight simulation crashing experience. I bet they had no clue it'd be this busy. I don't think that's true, man. You had to. You had to absolutely know how busy it was going to be. And like this whole simulator exists not as like the flight simulator stuff, and this stuff is awesome for us. But the real point of all this is that they are marketing some serious tech for cloud computing. And if your cloud computing infrastructure can't handle the video game that you built from the ground up to use said cloud computing infrastructure, like that's a problem. That's not going to do any favors for them in their sales pitch. We're not going back to X-Plane tonight. I'm not firing up X-Plane right now. All right, we'll try it again without multiplayer. All right, Diamond. Yes. KBAF. Planes are showing up now. Planes weren't showing up before. Flight conditions, off, preset, live weather. Live. I just hit the live button. It should work, right? That's what I hit before. The sirens are outside. I live on a busier street. I'm wondering if maybe multiplayer was screwing it up. You have a ton of people playing because it's flavor of the month. Yeah, it's also free on Game Pass too. So a lot of people with Microsoft Game Pass are jumping into this right now. guess we'll change the title to be not multiplayer enabled. Because that seems to have been the problem. Interesting. Somebody loaded in with some jacked up setting, it seemed. And that's that. All right. Hey, we're back. Welcome back. All right, let me get my zoom set up here. General. And camera. Zoom out a touch. Right there. Good. Yes. Resume. Okay. Where the hell am I? Oh, I'm pointing the wrong way. All right. How do we start this engine? Let's get people and gas in here. Just give me full tanks. That's fine. Fuel valve is on. We're gonna take off whatever flaps. Brake is locked. Okay, so we're gonna want I think that engine master on. Essential bus can come on. Oh yeah, we need to turn electric start to on as well. Essential bus not normal for operate. Okay, that stays off. Fuel pump's on. There's something about this airplane, if I recall. Oh, it started, okay. I thought there was something else that I was missing, but maybe not. Boy, those displays are bright. Holy crap. How do I turn the brightness? You can't, can you? Is my live weather working? Yeah, live weather's working. Mostly. We're no longer on multiplayer. Okay, let's do some flight planning. Figure out what we're gonna do here. You. Flight plan. BAF. KBVY. Set. Let's go Gardner VOR to the Lawrence VOR. And then we can shoot the, we can shoot the VOR approach, I think, off the Lawrence VOR. EVY, VOR 16. Yeah. It's just, if we go to Manchester, adds a little bit to the flight, but then gets us onto a feeder route to grab that VOR approach. Cool. 100 miles. Ah, that's going to be a little longer. Really? I guess so, yeah. It's 80 miles direct. We're adding a 20 extra miles or so to it. So, yeah, okay, there you go. Okay, that's our flight. So let's do Gardner first. Gardner is 110.6. Hey, just so you guys know, I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but I'm playing around with, I turned VSync off for this flight, for the flights today, and I'm genuinely convinced that the sim is running smoother with VSync off right now. Like, very, very convinced that it's running a lot smoother. So, that might be something to try if you are having any sort of performance issues. Or stuttering, or just do it anyway. Because there's no reason not to have, I see very little reason to have it on. PR1, PFD, DME, bearing 1, bearing 2, nav 2, there we go. Done, 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 done. Great. Why is that so bright? My God. Oh, it uses a different, oh, it's not using synthetic vision, or is it? No. How do I want to turn synthetic vision off? I can turn the inset off. Get an X-Red radar on there. Actually, that's kind of helpful. PFD, wind, DME, HSI format. Well, that's cool. Wind, option 1, back. CDI, ADF, transponder. Yeah, there should be an option to you'd think it'd be an option to turn it off somewhere. Get the FPS fix. Yeah, I haven't tried it yet, but I have heard that that's a thing and that it works well. Can't turn it off over here either. All right, let's just go flying. What do you say? Hell yeah. What is it? So the fix redo, I assume the fix locks the FPS at like what, 30 for the avionics or 15 or something? Like what does it actually lock that at? Fun thing about this airport. When you take off on the main runway going to the south, they actually clear you for takeoff here. They'll not here obviously, but they'll say clear for takeoff intersection Alpha, and because there's like 2,500 foot of runway still right there, and it's the weirdest damn thing because there's all this runway behind you, but it's such a long runway that's made for bigger airplanes. Pitot heat on, flaps are 1 notch. Landing taxi position strobe on. There's no gear in this plane. Clear left. Clear right. Figure out what we're doing good on here. Let's go 5,000 feet again. Oh, iPad. Thank you. There's a fix that's floating around for avionics fix that reduces the FPS of the avionics, or the update rate of the avionics, and apparently people are seeing some pretty dramatic improvements, probably more so in the glass cockpit planes, especially like the Citation and those that have a lot of screens. All right, let's go runway heading. Right there, and we're gonna go up to 5,000 feet. That's set. Good. Direct to the VOR when we get there. And we're out of here. Lights, camera, action. Actually, where are my panel lights at? All right, let's go flying. TSP's in the green. Airspeed alive. Okay. Nose are forward. Go ahead and bring that flaps in. Keep that nose up. Go for about 90 knots here in the climb. Rotax turbojet prop. Well, so this is an interesting engine. This is actually a diesel engine with a FADEC. So they do behave quite a bit different than the piston variants would. But yeah, it does have a bit of a turboprop sound to it. All right, let's go ahead and go. Sync the heading bug, autopilot on, heading, and flight change. Flight change 90 knots. 91% load's good. Okay, up we go. There's no fuel change switch on this either, is there? There's the fuel valve. But there's no tank switch. That's kind of interesting. It seems that we have some choppiness coming off these clouds here. You said your VRAM is being used at 8 gigs. Yeah, I got 7.5 gigs VRAM in use. I haven't really been checking the VRAM that closely. I know the new cards are rumored to have a ton of VRAM coming out. Turn down here. We'll go direct to Gardner here in a second. Have you noticed the fuel change switches not working in Sun Plains? Yeah. Yeah, the Extra, for example. The Extra, I couldn't figure out how to change fuel tanks at all in the Extra. Speaking of VRAM, they're rumored at 20 gigs. You have like 22 gigs for the 3090 or something ridiculous. You don't need that much VRAM yet. Maybe you will one of these days. I don't, oh, man. We'll see what the cards look like, right? But I am interested to see what the upgrade path is going to be for a lot of people to those, because they seem like they're overkill. Like, I am exceedingly happy with my current card. This is literally the only game that will cause it to have to break a sweat. And even now, the GPU here is only running at 75%. Where are you going, plane? It's going to do its 30-degree intercept on that VOR and then turn itself back. Yeah, so even right now, like, I'm only using 80% of my GPU because I'm CPU bound. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, the 2080 Ti's were like $1,200, so I would expect something comparable to that. Oh, good. Yes, please, hunt for that VOR. Hunt for it. One of these days, you will find it. Maybe. We got some pretty good precip we're flying into. This is not... So this real-world weather I don't think is accurate. At least the precipitation that's coming down. Looking at the next rad. It looks like it might be a couple hours old. I have an 2070 right now flying in the same weather. Yeah, so the 2060s and 2070s are definitely going to get pegged. I'm also running it at 1600p resolution. But yeah, the 2080 Ti... Like I said, this is the first game, the 2080 Ti, where I've actually seen it get pegged relatively consistently. Most of the time in games, my machine is just like, whatever, dude. And it actually ends up downclocking that GPU. So I'm very interested in the next generation of graphics cards. I will probably skip unless there is such a massive performance increase that it really makes sense to spend the money. But I don't see a lot of reason to go. And usually that's the case. Like, usually you skip a generation with cards. Because if you had a 1080 Ti, there wasn't a huge amount of reason to go to a 2080 Ti. I went from a 1070 to a 2080 Ti, and that was a pretty significant upgrade. But I also jumped not only a generation, but also a level of card. It's crazy. 300X is CPU bound. Well, it's all down to single core CPU speed still. Like, this sim does a really good job of multi-threading, but in the end, you're still bound by a single, how fast can you run your main thread, essentially. We popped this thing, I don't know how to pop it in developer mode, but you can pop it in developer mode and you can see where the bottleneck is. But the sim is using 27%, 28, it's using, let's say, 25 to 30% of my CPU, or my total threads. So I have 24 threads available to me. 25% of 24 is 6. So this is, I would say that this sim is using between 6 and 7 threads at any given time, which is incredible compared to what other things are, like what other sims and other games are doing. So yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 or 6 threads that are pretty well maxed out. And I'm also running a video encode on here and other stuff. So my machine is certainly getting its ass kicked. Yeah, and for so Ian, I'm letting it do its own overclock. I've got precision boost override on right now, CPU hardware monitor. So I've got precision boost override on right now that it manages the overclock for me. So it's probably getting a little bit less overclock when you're hitting the cores quite the way it is. As soon as hardware monitor decides to respond, there you go. Yeah, so my overclock right now is around 4100 to 4200 megahertz. So about 4.2 gigahertz. If I was just pegging a single CPU or a single core, I'd probably see 42 to 4300 megahertz for this chip, just the way that it usually is. But yeah, we've got basically a 4150 overclock all core right now, and that's just using precision boost, which lets the CPU overclock itself. I get 5.2 all cores, but it heats the room. Well, that's probably with an Intel chip. And that's why, like, CPU speed is not the determining factor in performance across like AMD and Intel, because they have different ways of talking to memory, different ways of handling their buses, different ways of like doing communication and stuff throughout the chip. AMD's single core performance tends to be, at least with the new chips, tends to be at or similar to Intel with a lower clock rate. And that's not a rag on Intel. That's not a knock on it. It's just that's just like the reality of how things are right now. Just difference in architecture and stuff. Yeah, it's looking okay. I still like these like tornadic tendrils that are coming down. I don't think are generally correct, but it still looks pretty good. Where are we flying? We're up in New England right now. Got to set my altimeter. Oh, geez, 2949, really? Oh, there it's actually adjusting the altitude that time. Maybe it does it for this plane enough for the other one. Altimeter 2953 in Manchester. 2951 in Beverly. That's insane, dude. There you go, 51. RPM is... You want me to cruise to 75%? I guess. It's not very fast, though. I want rental power, man. Come on. I'm paying good money for this airplane. I'm choking on my water. Yeah, we're in the Diamond DA40 right now. Damn, good to see it. Lung T, good to see it. Jalen Morris, how you doing, man? Yoda Bolt, how you doing? I missed you guys. Oh, jeez. Oh, I tried to kill myself right there. Nice. It's going to be a bit of a long flight. We have not picked up Manchester VOR yet. I think I would have, but maybe not. Yeah, it's all right. Yep, so we're flying from Barnes up to Beverly Airport in Massachusetts. A route that I have flown many, many, many times. Interestingly ugly airplane. I'm with any luck, this is what I want to do my commercial training and my CFI training in one of these planes. It's been a while since I've pulled this picture up. I made sure I could fit into it. So it's a tight squeeze. I can sort of get in that way. I can fit in this way. Thankfully, I don't wear a normal headset. I wear an in-ear headset, so that goes around the back of my head. It's going to be maybe slightly claustrophobic, and I do kind of feel bad for the CFI. Well, probably on my left side while we're doing the training. I need a model with a sunroof, I know, right? Hey, there's my child. Good plane for little people, yeah. Oh, there we go. We're doing, yeah, 135 true. Okay, that's about what I expect from this thing. If you're pushing it 90 knots, it's about what these things will do. Need to bring my own bubble canopy. Yeah, it's a tight squeeze, but hey, it's a cool little plane. I really want to go fly it. Need one of those open canopy biplanes, right? What I need is people to afford to fly a Cirrus. If I could afford to fly a Cirrus all the time, a lot of my problems would be solved. Because I could fit in those things, no problem. Are we direct to Beverly? Nope. We're flying up to the Gardner VOR, to the Manchester VOR, and then we're going to shoot the local, or the VOR 16 approach into Beverly. The VOR 16, just the VOR. The VOR 16 into the Beverly Airport. I got to sit the DA-62 during Flight SimCon in Connecticut. Just barely got in there. There was the DA-42, not the 62 in Connecticut, Ian. But yes. So Max flew one of those things back to Texas a couple years ago, and I flew along with him. And it was two big dudes in a very little cockpit, but it was pretty sweet still. That plane's awesome. The Ferrari of the skies. Midimoto Masashi, good to see you. Celtic Arms, what's going on, man? Good to see you, buddy. I'm just under 6 feet and have linebacker shoulders. Yep. My problem is I'm 6'5", but I'm all torso, so like my inseam and like the pants I wear is 34 inches. And for somebody my height, you'd be usually closer to like 38 inches or so for the inseam. So like that much more of me sits from the the seat up. And it can impact my ability to sit in various things. Oh, right, Ian. Yeah, you saw that. You saw the diamond. Yeah, we went to that taco place, right, Ian? In Providence? Yeah, I don't like these. These remind me. Oh, man. You know what it reminds me of? Hang on. I gotta find this scene from this movie. But maybe it's not gonna happen, because it's an old movie. No. This reminds me, if you've ever seen the movie Flight of the Navigator, it reminds me of the scene where they're going back in time. Or back home, I guess. Flight of the Navigator was like my favorite movie as a child. Went back and watched it, was kind of disappointed. Is this Interstellar? Game Sense Air, good to see you, man. How you doing, Josh? Nibble Kibble, good to see you as well. Oh, yeah. Two big guys getting into a little plane. Thanks, Ian. That's the best one you can find. Interstellar is fantastic, yeah. Compliance. Jason, how you doing? Oh, man. I'm enjoying Flight of the Sim. We had some crashing issues earlier. It seemed to be maybe related to multiplayer stuff. As soon as I turned multiplayer off, things went pretty well. So we're just popping along now. We're heading up to Beverly. up in just north of Boston. They have the laugh on here at least. Seriously? No. They don't even have the laugh. Huh. I should go watch Flight Navigator again. Fly the TBM at 135 knots. Try not to get too far away from me. This thing does not like to go slow. No, it does not. Just so you know, I don't have multiplayer turned on right now. Multiplayer, I think, was causing some of the was causing my sim to not load at all back at the previous airport. So it is currently turned off. Tried doing an ILS with the 320, went horrible. Started auto descending 5 miles from the runway and tried to land itself. Yeah, I'm staying away from the airliners. Like if we're doing slant alpha stuff, like flying around slant alpha, man, just tracking needles and shooting approaches, it works fantastic. Like I've already shot 2 ILS approaches today, down to down to some weather. I have a sneaking suspicion this particular approach is going to be pretty much down to minimums. I'm curious what it's going to give me for visibility, because it's supposed to be broken 1700. This approach gets me down to 720. So if we go to minimums and we don't get this, we got to crank around and I guess try to shoot the localizer approach, which gets you down to... God, the localizer approach doesn't even get you that low. So we can't shoot the VOR or the RNAV. Localizer approach will get us down to 500 feet AGL. The lowest approach going into Beverly is an LPV approach, but I'm not gonna. You can't shoot that in this airplane. Boandre, good to see us. Incredible Stan, welcome aboard. Cyber Dami, how you doing? Yeah, the RPMs are fine. Whatever. We're flying right at 2,300 RPM, so I ain't concerned. Have I heard the new MSFS 20 economy app? Am I going to take a part in it? I have not heard of that, and so not yet. I have no idea what that is, Nick Ray. Good to see you, by the way. VJ, good to see you as well. I'm a lurker and just pop on now and then. It's all good, dude. Lurkers unite. Pretty much every stream I go into, I end up lurking in, so I'm not going to hold that against you. Okay, we're approaching Gardner. We're going to leave Gardner at 071. Let's sync the heading bug up. Let's go into heading mode. Let's change our course to 071. And we'll keep flying here till we get a little closer. And I've been using FS Economy, and FS Economy has been fun, but it's not working today. At least it wasn't for me. You virtually get money for doing jobs flying virtual passengers. Look it up, really sounds really good. Well, if you're talking about FS Economy, I've been on FS Economy for years. Like if this is what you're talking about, I've been doing FSE for like 5 or 6 years at least. And like I said, I was supposed to have a job to do today, but didn't work. And yes, it is very enjoyable. All right, station crossing should happen here in a second. Let's go ahead and turn towards the outbound leg here. There it goes. Get that needle back in here, because I know if I go nav mode too early, this autopod is going to way overcompensate. Here we go, nav. Perfect. 18 miles to our crossover point. Or sorry, 20 miles to the crossover. So 20 miles we'll cross over and start flying Manchester. So 20 on this side and 16 on this side, it looks like. Ish. Yeah, FS Economy is great. It's been around forever. You fly an X-Plane too. Fly an X-Plane, FSX, FS 2004. It's a fantastic tool. Remix reviews, we're in the Diamond right now. Started off in the Bonanza today. Now we in the Diamond. The Jet A powered Diamond. Was there a fix for course and heading selector going in increments of 10 degrees? Does it still do that? I don't know. It doesn't do that for me right now. I don't know. I noticed it happening in some planes, but not in others. Doing very well. Thank you very much, Remix Reviews. Once we get a little closer to Manchester, we'll brief that approach. Don't use the mouse wheel. Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, if you use the mouse wheel, does it go in tens? No, it's doing singles. Like if you scroll fast, it goes like it goes. If you scroll, well, actually no. Yeah, if you scroll fast, it starts to move around pretty good. Just wait a second, and it'll come back. But yeah, I don't know. Because I've had that problem happen a couple times, and I don't know how I resolved it or whatever. Some blue sky back there. It's trying. Is there a map that shows other simmers flying in the same area? You can pull it up from the main menu. Where is Benny? But when I'm actually in here in the sim, no. If I had multiplayer turned on, we'd be able to see all the people flying around us. But that was causing my sim to crash, so I turned it off. Can I get the swap HSI from VOR1 to nav? Well, it'd be VOR1 over to GPS. Because nav is just saying use whatever's on nav 1. Where are you going? We're going to Beverly, just north of Boston. KBVY. Flying through some weather. Amiga, good to see you, by the way. Hello from Boston. Where are you at in Portugal? My wife is Portuguese. Family has a house in the Azores. That's a big buildup. And that's a big buildup right there. If I saw that on the old next route, I don't think I'd be sitting this close to it. Stick a wing in that stuff, you're probably gonna get moved around a little bit. A torricane, right? No, we're not on a GPS flight. I'm purely using the needles. I'm from Lisbon, but I live in Braga. Nice. Actually, my very first international trip, I went to Lisbon. We stayed in Estoril, however you say it. Spent a lot of time in Cascais. We went to Lisbon once for about half a day, and then the people that we were out there with called us and said, hey, you're coming to... We were out there for a wedding. Like, hey, you're coming to the rehearsal dinner tonight, right? And we're like, we're not dressed for it. No, hadn't planned on it. You're coming to the rehearsal dinner then. We'll see you at 6. So our stay in Lisbon was cut short. But we did go to Belém and get some custards and do all the touristy stuff that you got to do. It was fun. I want to go back. Another mushroom cloud. I saw some screenshots and whatnot of the depiction of the hurricane, though, and it looked like the sim was doing a really good job, or a fairly good job drawing in the hurricane and whatnot. The bearing is missing an altitude knob, yes. Making me wish I was back in Europe. How long were you in Europe, Josh? I feel like I saw pictures of you in Europe for like a year. But then I think you mentioned that you were only out there for a few weeks. Belém, yes, sorry. Yeah, so we took the train all the way downtown to Lisbon. We ate at the square where the statues and whatnot are next to the water. Walked around the markets for a little bit, and then we were told, hey, we want you guys to come here for this thing. So we stopped in Belém on the way out. Got some pastries, had some lunch. We saw sights. I don't remember what all we did, sightseeing, and it's been a lot of booze since then. A lot of booze on that trip, too. And then out we went. Which plane am I using? We're in the Diamond DA40. The DA40 NG. 5 months, okay. We're supposed to be there for 2 weeks. But 3 flights home got canceled. I kind of wondered about that, man. When a vacation turns into something longer. Discover Monument. There you go. I loved it, man. I had a great time, yeah. We got our treat. The treatment we had by some people in Lisbon was a little off-putting. My wife is Azorian and has my understanding is, has a very strong Azorian accent. And not like the good Azorian accent. So I think she combined with me being an American that didn't speak Portuguese, like we were kind of at a few places where we're kind of like not getting maybe the best service, maybe not treated as well as I would have liked to have. Outside of that, we had a blast. Like the whole trip was fantastic. I really want to go back to Lisbon. I really want to go back to that area. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And the food was amazing everywhere we went. All right, let's go heading mode here. So sync the heading bug. Boom. Click on the heading button. Boom. We're going to flip over to Manchester. So put you up there. Flip to Manchester. Like so. And we're flying into Manchester at the reciprocal of 253. So let's move that to 53. Right there. And then go back to nav mode. She's Portuguese. Yes, she is. Yeah, her family was her family was from the islands. Small island called Graciosa in the Azores, and she was born and raised here. But we go back. Well, we usually go back every other year. We were going to go back this year as well, but circumstances did not allow for that. I'm supposed to be at Ben Levy's wedding today. Okay, Plain Ben's getting married today, so I was supposed to be down in Philly hanging out with Josh and Max and all those guys. And then tomorrow I was supposed to fly my ass out to the Azores for vacation for a week and a half. Here we are. Let's brief and approach. Okie dokie. 112.5 for Lawrence. I'm not bitter about it at all. Don't worry. Okay, we're going to fly the VOR, or sorry, Nope. Nope. We are going to fly the VOR Alpha, or the VOR, runway 16 approach into Beverly from the Manchester VOR. Crossing Manchester, we go down to 2,000 feet, take that for 15 miles down to Lawrence. Tune into Lawrence, it's going to be Lawrence 154 down from there. Final approach fix is High Mug. It's going to be 6.7 DME at 1,800 feet, so we're going to go 2,000, step down to 1,800, and then step down to minimums of 720 from there. In the event of the missed approach, it's going to be a climbing left turn to the Portsmouth VOR on radial 201, 2,000 feet, holding at Which being identified by the Lawrence radial 125. So let's get Portsmouth tuned up here, because there is actually a chance that I'm going to have to fly this missed. So Portsmouth VOR is 116.5. 16.5 there, and identified. Okay. Questions, comments? Great. When you come, go visit Sintra. We went to Sintra, yeah. So we went to Sintra. We did do some sightseeing. So we went to Sintra. We made it up to the big ass cathedral all the way up there. What the hell is that called? You know what I'm talking. If you're from there, you know what I'm talking about. The Holy Ghost thing. We also then went to, I think, Peniche, is it? Yeah, I think we went up to Peniche and hung out along the side there. Stunning view up on that cliff. Like, and by the way, that's actually how it's spelled. I don't know if that's how you say it, but that's how it's spelled. Yeah, so we did Saint Tree. We went all the way up here, and then I forget the name. I forget the name of the cathedral, the name of that town. But we were like a week or two before the big Holy Ghost ceremony that happens there every year, where it's like this. It's like the second largest, next to the Vatican. It's the second largest Catholic worship place in the world. I'm not really a religious person by any means, but it was still amazing to see that facility. All right, Wisconsin, what's going on, man? Good to see you, buddy. If I open the map in the sim and expand it, move it off the side, the FPS goes way up. Interesting. That's weird, Piper Hawk. I haven't heard that one. Obviously, in the army in Strasbourg, France, we weren't received all that well. Yeah, I mean, like as an American, I expect. As an American, there are places I expect to go and to be not treated as well as maybe I would like to be. And I kind of understand because, hey, like I'm a foreigner, I don't speak the language, like I get the all the stereotypes and stuff that Americans have traveling abroad and yada yada yada. So, I totally understand. My wife was slightly off-put by the whole situation. Reports FPS. Oh yeah. Pretend you're Canadian. I need to work on my Canadian accent. Good fish food in Peniche. Yeah, I don't eat seafood, but my understanding it's pretty good all over the place out there. I know my wife raves about the lapish in the Azores, the mussels that they pluck right off the side of the rocks and fry them up in butter and garlic, I guess. I want to go back. I don't want to be in Boston next week. All right, altimeter still, it's 2949 now. 2949er. And off we go. BD Gamer 2 YT, good to see you. Getting some rain. Man, the heaviest stuff here is just off my left wing, which is not entirely accurate to what I'm seeing on the radar. It might have been entirely accurate a few hours ago, but it certainly isn't right now. But that's okay. Mom got kicked out of a French shop once as soon as she spoke and they heard her accent. Is she Canadian? Because that'd be fantastic. Capri, good to see you. How you doing, buddy? I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking as well. Oh, jeez. We're Americans. Ah, even better. Yes. The isle your wife is from, it's gorgeous, and the Azores, dangerous airport there. Yeah, tell me about it. That airport's terrifying. Oh man, I gotta have this video somewhere. Hang on. Oh, it's on my YouTube channel. We'll do a little show and tell here before I grab this approach. Graciosa is amazing. Like I'll show you here. I'll show you where the house is at too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. Save this one here for just a second. Let's go back to heading mode. Take the heading bug. Click on heading bug there. We're gonna turn into 137 and descend down to 2,000 feet. Course 137. And we'll start turning in right there. Altitude bug, 2,000 feet. Vertical speed, nose down, 500 feet per minute. Pull the power back. All right, this is the airport. Going into Graciosa. And if you've never, it's like a 4,000 foot runway, We're flying in a Dash 8 Q400, and there's always a crosswind. This was 2012. First time I'd gone. And you're doing this bleary-eyed after having been on the world's absolutely worst red-eye. So let's take a look here. There's the runway. There's the 1,000-foot marker. Okay. There's the taxiway that denotes halfway. And that's when the reversers finally go off on a 4,500-foot runway. We're still slowing down. Okay, there's the 1,000-foot marker at the other end. We're still slowing down. Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. My folks were supposed to fly in with me this year, too. I'm so disappointed that we're not going. I really am. Sean is carrying. Good to see you. Philip from Papiga Airlines. Ah, there you go. Yes. Canadian pumpkins. Do Canadians have pumpkins? Try it in the simulator. Actually, I haven't. I should fly out there in the sim at some point. Yeah, that's a good idea. Cyberdommy, what's going on? Yoda Boat, good to see you. Stealth Bob, welcome back. Everyone here will go do that approach now. Yeah. Graciosa, GRW. It's like, is it... what is the iCal code for it? LPGR. LPGR is the code for that airport. Maybe we'll go fly out there. We'll go try it after this. Go fly around there. But my yeah, my wife's we have the property, or my wife's family I should say has the property. At some point I think I can just say we have the property. Yeah, here you go. I've shown this a few times. Nope, that's not the right one. That's the town. Yeah, here we go. Here's the view off of our back patio, where the property's at. So that's looking towards the east. And up on that lighthouse is very, very gorgeous. There's a natural pool down there, or a pool that they built down there in the water. But yeah, that's where I should be in 2 days. We'll get you there, Ashley. Let's talk. Let's talk like a year or two. My folks are going next year. We can help you find a place out there. It's cheap. Like my folks were, the place my folks were going to have was like 30 euro a day or something. And I think it was a 2-bedroom condo. It's cheap. Okay, this is doing its thing. We're going to go back into heading mode here. Think the heading bug, go back into heading mode, flip over to the Lawrence VOR. LWM is identified. We're direct to that right now. What I'm going to do is then turn my inbound course to 154. And that's what we're going to fly. All right. Allow me to take over this airplane from the autopilot. So we are descending down to 2,000 feet, 1,000 feet to go. I'm flying direct to the Lawrence VOR. We crossed the Lawrence VOR and we're going to start flying inbound to Beverly. Once I cross the Lawrence VOR, I can go down to 1,800 feet. Yeah, Madeira as well. We have not gone to Madeira. When we've gone over there, it's always been to Graciosa. My wife spends some time in Terceta, because Terceta is where we've got some friends that have a place there too. My extent of Terceta has been going there. I think I spent one night there because I was forced to at Praia. And then outside of that, it's been driving around looking at the cows and eating cheese for a few hours between my flights. Yeah, it might be difficult to see Lost Kiwi this year, Bob. How is domestic travel in Canada though? Like, is it much of a problem? (2,000 feet). We are 4.5 miles out. No issues. Okay. Wonder why my 22 did not have DME. It's possible that the approach you were flying didn't have a DME. or whatever you were tuned into didn't have a DME. A lot of not every ILS has a DME. Sometimes, like the one we flew at Barnes, the ILS into Barnes required me to tune into another frequency to get DME, to tune into the Barnes VOR. Because the ILS itself didn't have that. I was in the localizer. Yes, the localizer may not have DME. Yeah, if you look at the approach plate, when they show it, when they show a distance number, if it's not using the localizer, it'll have the 3-letter designator for what's actually giving you that number. So it could be like a VOR, it could be a another localizer or something along those lines. Usually if it's not doing that, it's a VOR. Like usually if it's not the localizer, it's going to be a VOR that's giving you that. All right, direct Lawrence, 2,000 feet. Hold this. Lights are all good. Mile out of the VOR. Air company TAP is great. I have not flown TAP. We're stuck on SATA when we are now Azores Airlines when we go to the Azores. I think TAP is running flights now, maybe from Boston, but I don't know. I think TAP and whatnot only run from mainland Portugal. So yeah, if I were going to Lisbon, I probably would take TAP. All right, there's our cone of confusion. Get ourselves lined up here. Pull the power down to 1,800 feet. We're taking this to 6.7 DME. 6.7 DME is our final approach fix, then we can start down to minimums from there. Down we go. So I'm going to do this landing, and then we'll probably go do like a landing challenge or something. Do a couple of those, and then round out the day. I think I'm good instrument flying for the day with 3 of these. Starting to see some semblance of ground down there. That in the real world, that would give me great cause for joyful triumphantness. And then, of course, you lose the ground, and it's like, ah, crap. Okay, we're holding 1,800 to 6.7 DME, and then down from there. I should get there. A little bit more oomph here. It's 3.2 DME, halfway there. Living on a prayer. Whoa! Right. Oh, yeah, too. Yeah, sorry. Below minimums is right as well. You have to actually turn the DME on. Hit the PFD buttons and all that. I wish they would just stay on all the time. I don't know why you'd want to turn them off. I really don't. There's the rain. 2 miles of faff. I guess if you're only flying a magenta line, you wouldn't care. It's a good point. That is true. 6. I have no idea the numbers to fly for this approach. So we're going to start with 55%, see what that gives us for speed. First notch flaps out. All right, let's go 50. Let's go 40%. And we can start down now. Go down to our minimums. Our minimums today are going to be 720 feet. We should have started a timer too. Looking for 90 knots, 720 feet. .8 DME as our missed point approach point. Starting to get ground contact. 300 above. Holy crap, really? .200 above. .100 above. Minimums. Lights. Lights. That was cool. Yeah, the way the breakout happens, man, is so good. And you can start to see the ground below you as you're coming through. Like just everything about the way instrument flying, or everything about the way the visual part of instrument flying happens is just, it's nailed in this sim. Flaps are down good. I know this thing's gonna get down to ground effect and just float like crazy. Beautiful. That tower is, whoops, that tower is a little closer to reality now. That tower was not done well at one point. That's closer to what it looks like. Should be a fuel pump there. And then go back to the hangars over here. Actually a pretty good little hill. There's the fuel pumps right there. And then, yeah. Oh yeah, the hangar. Yep, that's where we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because that big ass hangar is there. There's a oh man, there's a global and a citation that the guy keeps in that thing. Insane. The global, when that global lands on that runway, man, it's loud. Two-Tone Murphy, what's going on? Ah, that was cool, man. That was fun. Let's go do one of those challenges now. That was good. I really did those two flights were good. It was a good test to see how the sim would behave with actual instrument conditions and doing slant alpha flying. So I'm very, very, very happy with that today. A couple of crashes sucked, but I strongly suspect those were due to multiplayer. Anthrax, how you doing, Jose? Good to see you, buddy. So let's do what's the challenge for the week? Oh, it's still Courchevel or Courchevel. Ah, I already did Courchevel. What's a famous one that we can do? Absolute lunacy at all times. What's the deal with Toronto then? Is this supposed to be like crappy weather or something, or is it just like come do a pretty thing? Nice is fun. All right, let's go do Nice. Nice is in the Bonanza. I hate the way this Bonanza flies, but short runway. Oh, okay. Oh, it's got a little bit of wind. Wind's out of the south. Ish. Southwest-ish. Lukla. I think I already did Lukla. Everybody does Lukla. City center is similar to the Azores you were talking about. The runway is 4,500 feet. Ah! Okay. Like, do they throw winds and all that stuff in there at you too? Please don't beat my score. It will damage my self-esteem. What was your score? Oh, hey, here we go. All right, what are they starting me with? Gears up, flaps are at approach. Okay. Okay, I feel the wind's pushing a little bit there. Are we going for the left runway or the right one runway? I think it's the right one. How about on St. Bart? Is there a challenge for St. Bart? I have not. I've landed at St. Bart, but I haven't. If there's a challenge for it, I haven't done the challenge. It's gusty. I did the 152 windy challenge, which was kind of fun. Prop mix full, gear down 3, green flaps down indicated. Okay. $500 checked. I'm guessing this thing wants me on the 1,000-footers. Dude, the 152 challenge Anthrax was insane. Like, because you're going into Sedona and you're just getting absolutely manhandled by the wind. All right, we know the ground effect tends to be a little exaggerated in these airplanes. Windsock is telling me nothing. know this plane's very, very, very tail heavy. Oh, the winds were out of... Okay, it was right to left. I thought I was thinking the winds were left to right for some reason. We can do better than that. I had the wrong winds going in my head there. Let's do one more time. I got top 10 at one point at that 152. Man, that challenge was nuts. All right, so the winds are right to left, which makes sense. No. Right out of the west. They should be left to right, shouldn't they? Yeah, they should be left to right coming in here. They were definitely right to left, though. They were coming in from the wrong way. Slight quartering left headwind. That's what I was expecting. That's what I was expecting, Jose. But it was the way that it was flying in that. It was a slight quartering right headwind. Gary Lauderdale, good to see you. Nibble Kibble, welcome aboard. YD Simulations, how you doing? It does look beautiful, though. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're not being judged on the quality of the approach, just the quality of the landing. Remember that. Yeah, it should have been left to right.
500.
Definitely right to left coming in here. I can feel it pushing me. Totally judging. It's fine. Need more right rudder coming in there. That was worse than the last one. One more. I got to get 1.6 mils the target today. If I can get 1.6 mil, I'll be happy with that. You can turn the wind indicator on the PFD. I think that thing lies, man. We'll turn it on and see what it says, but I'm pretty sure it lies. Johnny Character, good to see you, buddy. Dog is good to see you as well. One more, he says. No, I really gotta go. I gotta go downstairs in a second. I gotta go hang out with my family. My wife and I are sampling wines tonight, so it'll be a good day. Speaking of wine, yeah. Sean, good to see you. FPS ain't too bad. We're running 30s right now, coming in here. It's been about average for me. Sampling bourbon, there you go. Let's see what the wind indicator says. PFD, wind, option 1, back. Oh, it's giving me winds, okay. See, this would be better if they would actually judge your approach, too. Not just, like, your touchdown point and how well you, and how smooth your landing was. So I need smooth landings, and I need a whole lot more right rudder in. If I think I've got enough right rudder, I don't.
500.
You know what I'm also gonna do? I'm gonna land with the park brake on. Watch me cheat. Ah, too soon. Hey! The parking brake trick works, though. Aren't we gonna do that again? Okay, okay. I got this now. No, I got the trick now. I see exactly how to do this. It's all about execution. I think every one of these challenges I should land with a park brake on. Because then you don't have to worry as much about the rollout going all over the place. No, no tire failure. Failure's turned off. It's all about cheating. That's right. It wouldn't be fair if we were all on even ground. You can't put the challenge up for the entire world and not expect cheating. Exactly. I need a little bit more juice coming in there, and I would have had that. Being resourceful, yes. I can't check that right now, Joe. got this. Long. Damn it. I chopped it too late. One more. I'm running the sim at 1600p. Holy crap, Joe. Oh, wow. That was basically that dude's entire life savings, it looks like. Good lord. I'm running the sim at 1600p. My stream is running 1080 right now. Nah, this is the one here. Up, 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 up. that was the thing, Anthrax. She was on earlier, and she said up. And I told the story about how she says up all the time. Trotter, thanks for 30 months, buddy. Do appreciate that. Cheers, my friend. Thank you. Got the fighter pilot approach going here. Concentrate. You got this. I forgot to set the park brake. Ah! I floated it last second there. Too much back pressure. I can't beat my score. 1.51 on the very first attempt, and then I start overthinking it, man. All right, we're just gonna call it there. Plane floats like a boat. Ah, yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. Ugh. I got dinged for my off-centeredness, really. Okay, friends. I think that's gonna... Apparently it's bath time. I think it's going to do us in today. Thank you guys all for coming out this afternoon. Sorry I didn't stream on Friday. There probably won't... I don't think there'll be any streams next week. I've got some stuff going on, and I don't think I'm going to have time to run a stream. I'll talk to you all about it once it's all finished. Trust me, it's nothing glamorous. So, yeah, we'll probably see you here in a week and a half. When I come back, we're going to do a golf stream on a Wednesday, and then we'll do some more flying on that whatever Friday that happens to be. Maybe some little extra stuff, because I'm actually off that week too, so I might throw a bonus in there. So, thank you again, folks. It's been an absolute blast, and we'll see you soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Toodles. Ah, the old classic music. It's so bad.